And we're live. Live. I think. Oh, guys. Oh, guys. Oh, guys. Good Wednesday to all. Yep. It's Wednesday. Just watching some YouTube videos. Goddamn. I swear. I got to stay off of some of these fuckers' deals because it's just like like instant rage. See that the showrunners from fucking Rings of Power calling us all patently evil now for our criticism. What is up, Sci-Fi Rogue? What is going on? I am chilling. Fucking did a little bit of reading, got my son to sleep for a little bit, so figured we could bullshit. About halfway through this Dune Messiah. I picked it up just to check it out a little bit, and the fucking next thing I know, I'm already halfway through it. Love it. What's going on, guys? Fuck yeah, finally made one. That's right. Awesome. Birdie in the books. What's going on? We're just chilling, hanging out, talking. Wednesday, whatever the fuck you guys want to chat about. Like I was just saying, I was watching this fucking I was watching this thing on this article. Yeah, it's just ridiculous. You can't have criticism anymore. You just if you do, you're fucking evil. You know, it's a good thing that I enjoy evil, so maybe I just embrace that. Damn, I love Dune Messiah. Jared, I am so loving it. I have to say, I still got another halfway to go. But so far, I'm actually really surprised because I don't know if this might be a kind of a unpopular opinion, but I think Messiah will be I will like it more than I like Dune, which is crazy. It's the one I kind of drug my feet on because I know it doesn't necessarily get a whole lot of love. So I was always hesitant. And now I'm reading it. I'm like, fuck, I should have done this forever ago. I love it. I also am seeing a lot of stuff that I have to say it had to have a massive impact on Baker. And I already saw that from reading Dune, but from reading Messiah, it's like there's so much more. Yeah, Sci-Fi Rogue, great read. Yeah, man, I can't wait to do my, finish it and do my review on it. Like I said, this is a huge surprise to me because I want to read at least up to God Emperor, and I was really kind of figuring that, and I haven't got there yet, but Children of Dune and God Emperor are probably the two maybe that I would probably enjoy the most. But goddamn, I'm loving Messiah. Like it might end up being my favorite Dune book. I wouldn't be surprised, you know what I mean? If it ends, the second half is just as good as the first half or even better, it's going to be one of my favorite reads this year. Dune wasn't for me, but I respect it for being a first. Hey, Birdie, I tell you, it isn't for everybody, but no book is. You know what I mean? It's definitely going to hit a certain demographic. It did. It hit them hard, and it's for something that's that old. Also, I guess that's the thing is it is cool that it's a first because you see the impact it had on so many other writers. It's really plain to see. Like there's so many people I could kind of even what Matthew Stover, The Heroes Die. I feel like there was a little kind of nod maybe to Dune Messiah here with the Seitel character because you have like Tellus Seitel in, I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm reaching, but I don't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it. But yeah, not for everybody. You know what I mean? It's good to know what you're into though, because that way it's easier to find those books. Also, it's good to know what you don't like because you could stay away from it. All right, Jared, I felt lied to by everything I heard about Messiah before reading it. I'm with you. I preferred it to Dune. Yeah, that's where I'm so surprised because I'm kind of like, well, what the fuck is everyone? Why does this get the lowest like score on all these on the Dune books? Like this thing's fucking awesome. And maybe that's just me. I'll say I have to admit this, like I'm, only a part way through Wastelands, on the Dark Tower series, but I know Gunslinger doesn't necessarily get a whole lot of love compared to the other books, but Gunslinger is my favorite book of the series I read so far. So it's not too strange. I tend to find like maybe like kind of cling to some of the more unpopular of the books in the series, but I sometimes I gravitate towards the popular ones too. But I do feel like I've been lied to. I'm right there with you, Jared. The sci-fi rogue aspect to Emperor reminded me of Children of Dune, especially. Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like just with the like, there's things that I like read, like the Cytel. Obviously, the Face Dancer reminds me a lot of Skin Spies. A lot of Skin Spies. But then just like also like when people are talking about like the Atreides, it's it's interesting because it sounds like how people talk about the Dunyane. You guys probably I don't know if you could hear that. That's my rabbit. She is going ape shit. You want to chill out, Jojo? I don't know. She might not, and that's the breaks. So hopefully she's not being too fucking loud. She is going ape shit. Yeah, but so I'm like right now I'm super excited to like for the Dune saga. Been working my way through the Stand uncut. Okay, yeah, that's a chonker. About at the 800 page mark, and it's easily the best book I've read this year, and definitely will reread one day. I've the people that are like, especially my buddies that are into King, they just cannot speak highly enough of that book. Give me one sec. Let me like put some food or something in here. I don't know what she's freaking out about. Girl, you are losing your shit. Here. Here, have some treats. There you go, Bits. Man, what the hell is going on with her? Anyway. Okay, yeah. So yeah, The Stand. I one day I'd like to read it. I watched the movie like a long time ago. It was like fucking I don't even remember. It was like 5 or 6 cassette because this was VHS days. It was like 5 or 6 VHS tapes long. It took us all day. I guess it's not a movie. Maybe it's a mini series. Either way, I watched that shit and it impacted me pretty heavily. Like I really love that story. That's also where I think I first heard "Don't Fear the Reaper" by Blue Oyster Cult. Fucking awesome song. More cowbell. We need more cowbell. But yeah, page 800. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Also read the prologue of The Thirst by McCammon. Yeah, is this the guy that does the Boy's Life and stuff like that? I keep hearing this name, and I don't really know enough about it, but yeah, I keep hearing this name keeps popping up. It's almost like the universe is telling me to read some of their stuff. All right, what do we got? James Loon. Yo, I'm super glad to have finally made it to one of these live streams. Yes. I hope everyone is having a great day so far. Yeah, me too. I hope everyone's doing all right. I'm doing all right. Hopefully you are in the same boat. If not, hey, we're here for you. Birdie in the books. I'm reading The Hobbit for the first time. Right on. The Hobbit's great. The very beginning line. I mean, it's so very Tolkien. So that's something I'm actually looking into getting, like maybe reading to my girls sometime very soon. See if they kind of are receptive to it or not. Who knows? I think that they will be. They're pretty receptive at night. Like when it's time to like for like bedtime, like any kind of story to them is kind of like a treat because they just know that they're staying up later. So I don't think that they're gonna give a shit. They'll be down probably for me to read it, but I don't know if they'll really like take it in and love it. Just like The Hobbit was pretty influential for somebody like me, especially by like I got to see the cartoon before reading the books, and I know some people talk mad shit about the old cartoons. But man, the Rankin Bass fucking Hobbit cartoon was legit. And I still like have images of like that cartoon that popped through my mind, into my thoughts still, and I'm fucking, that was when I was a little kid, and now I'm fucking 40, and it's crazy. Massive impact. That's the first time I saw Smaug was, in that cartoon. Bad motherfucker. Yeah, Robert McCammon, Mike's book reviews has been talking about him a lot recently. He loves Swan Song and Boy's Life. Yes, Boy's Life is the one I think that I kind of correlate to that name. I've heard of Swan Song, and it's probably because of Mike. That's probably where I'm kind of getting hit with that name and these books. Swan Song, man, that sounds depressing. I don't know if it is, but kind of makes me want to read it. I have The Boy's Life is like real, like magic realism or something like that, right? What's your recommendations after Baker and Morgan? Well, if you've read all Baker and Morgan stuff, and you're like kind of craving that like heavy prose, oh man. The one thing I would, it's just like maybe it'll only tie you over because it's not a fucking series. It's just a standalone book. But I would definitely look at Between Two Fires. It seems to be something that's written a lot like Buellman compared to his other stuff. It feels a lot different. But I love my buddy Chris says it's like reading a Herman. What is his name? Hieronymus Bosch or whatever, the crazy paint. Like it's like reading one of his paintings. It is nuts. It's so awesome, though. It reads not, it's tough to say it reads like Baker, but I feel like people that enjoy stuff that like Morgan or Baker's fantasy would like this a lot. That's just, my opinion. Doesn't mean you're guaranteed to love it, but I would definitely give it a check it out, as well as I would check out God damn it. Oof. I mean, you might dig the Empire of the Vampire, because I think that fucking Jay Kristoff has a very like awesome writing style. But then there's a lot of people, I've noticed a lot of people, my Baker friends, they don't like it. So I know that might be that's a 50-50 there, maybe. Somebody as far as writing style that you might want to check out as well is Anna Smith Spark. She's got this kind of lyrical style and hits you with a lot of imagery. She'll go kind of omni, first person. She'll change up the perspectives on you, not just like through the people, but like the style of storytelling, which is something that we've seen through those other guys, as well as you might want to check out Matthew Stover and his Acts of Cain series. I've only read one book, but I would say that it's so ambitious. It's maybe one of the like Heroes Die and Snakewood are probably the two most ambitious fantasy books I've ever read. Damn, dude, you're popping up in my feed all the time now. Loving it. Hope your day is going well. It's going well, Dan. Yeah, I'm trying to pop in your guys' feeds. I know I was kind of like ghost town over here for a minute, and I just had a lot of shit going, and I still do got a lot of shit going, but there's a lot of distractions that have been taken away from me by moving out here. So while I still have a lot of like on my plate, I feel like I could focus a little bit more. I mean, I don't know, maybe, and like I've been all over the place moody wise, you know what I mean? It's been kind of weird moving and like trying to get like grow new roots and shit already and all this stuff. So trying to write and trying not to hate on myself too much for what I'm writing, trying to keep up with reading. It's a lot of stuff on top of being a dad and a husband and I haven't gone to work since I've been out here, and that's kind of messing with me a little bit because I do like my job. I'm a tattoo artist. It's fun, but I've been stay-at-home dad. Hope you're doing well, Mark. Way, Aaron. I am doing well, guys. I'm doing well. I'm a little, like I said, I'm a little still kind of just spinning, trying to get grounded here. But I feel good. And like I said, it's very peaceful. It's such a change of pace. I'm still just kind of getting used to it. Like, you don't realize like how much noise and just static is going on in the city until you move out here and you're like, why the fuck is it so quiet? Like, oh yeah. All right, Curran Gill. I heard the Swan Song from Fantasy Network. Okay. Yeah. Maybe that's probably it too, man, because I watched those guys, both those guys. Thanks for all the reviews. Got me reading again. Hey, DH, if I doing anything for you in a positive manner, fuck yeah. That's a big part of my, big part of my goal here is to not just entertain you guys, but and have fun for myself, but to actually be helpful. If I could be helpful through any of this, that's fucking awesome. I have only read Land Fit for Heroes from Morgan, top 3 now, thanks to the recommended. Yeah, Land Fit for Heroes is phenomenal. If you've read Land Fit for Heroes, I can't recommend going to the Second Apocalypse. Go to Baker. Yeah. And you might want to try Malazan and stuff too. I've only got, dipped my toe into that. I'm going to, that is another one that always kind of gets thrown around with Baker, so it's got to be worth checking out. Goddess of Gore. I keep putting Between Two Fires off. I hear such good things that I don't want to be disappointed. It's a great book. It's, to me, it just caught me off guard. See, the thing is, I got to it kind of before a lot of people were buzzing about it, and I'm not trying to brag. I'm just saying that really affected my experience, right? Because I'm like going into a book with very, very little knowledge. Just that one of my friends liked it. That was it. That was all I knew about the fucking book. So when I read it, and it took me on a roller coaster ride of emotion, which I really appreciated. And I didn't know I was looking for, what I mean? It kept hitting me in ways I kept being surprised, but each surprise was something I didn't realize I was looking for, because each time it hit, it was in the right spot. It just was a phenomenal read. It's very bleak, and it can be very depressing as well. But there's also this specific ray of light that kind of shines through the whole story as well. It's fucking awesome. That's what I love so much about it, that something could be so bleak, yet there was still this little sparkle of hope. It really, I don't know, it was really fucking cool. Give it a shot. If you're disappointed, you're no further off than you were if you didn't try it at all, I think that you'll probably, I don't know, it's tough to say, because one of the characters in that book, Thomas or whatever, however you say his name, is one of my top tier characters because of his development. Let's just say that where I started with him and where I ended with him was just 2 different places. I went from hating him to loving him. It was fucking cool. It's been a minute too. Sometimes you just don't get that. You get more well-balanced characters. This guy was just like heavy. Loved him. Empire of the Vampire was good. I think so too. That was kind of another surprise. I just picked it up because I know that David Ragg, the author for Articles of Faith, when I interviewed him, he had gotten an ARC copy. And he was telling me about how fucking good it was. And he was like, I don't want to read a book about vampires, but this fucking book is amazing. And I was like, well, I used to like vampires. Like, shit, let's give it a try. And I loved it. I loved it immediately. The prologue or whatever, the interlude kind of deal, that hit me like it resonated immediately. Now I will say that same thing that resonated with me deterred a lot of other people, where they said it was too edgy. It felt like high schooler trying to be dark, and I was like, well, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, man. This shit's awesome. But I like edgy. Finally, a booktuber that pronounces my name right. That, you know, I have a buddy with this, his last name, same. Jared, are you doing any of the fall themed reading that's trending here on YouTube? Any dark recommendations in the horror genre? Man, I don't think I am going to be reading any horror stuff. I mean, I like some grim dark and shit, and that's got some horror themes in it, but probably nothing straight horror. Like the last straight horror book, I want to say, was Nightmare by Chad Nicholas, which is a fucking good book. And if you're looking for like a horror read that's like, to me, is a hidden gem, I'm pretty sure it's self-published. So I mean, you're probably not hearing a shit ton about it, but there are a lot of reviews on it about on YouTube, because I know that he got a hold of a bunch of us, you know, like 2 years ago or whatever, when he had put it out, and it reminded me a lot of like the horror I grew up on, like family horror. Not meaning that it's a family, like a family friendly story, but it's a horror story that revolves around a family. And as a family man, there are certain things that fucking creep me the fuck out. And it was legit. By the end of that book, I was kind of like, fucking, you go, bro. And Chad's hit me up for some other stuff. It's just like, I'm so busy. And I would read some more of his stuff. I just, you know, guys, I have fucking a million irons in the fire. But that is maybe something worth checking out if you like that style of horror, that kind of like the family horror stories. It's worth it. Though I will say, like, as far as maybe not reading, but I've noticed like I'm kind of getting back into like I've been watching certain stuff, and I'm like, man, it's kind of funny how it's just all been borderline horror, thriller stuff. Some of the stuff just straight up horror. But I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be watching Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2 and Evil Dead and fucking Army of Darkness. I think I'm gonna do that this month. I love those movies, and Army of Darkness is a huge influence on me. Because so we were talking just the other day, we were talking about horror. Like, if someone was asking me if I was gonna watch any horror movies, and I said, you know, maybe Nightbreed and something else, because I really like those movies. But then I realized, fuck, dude, Evil Dead's my shit. Like, that was the fucking horror series. Though, I mean, it definitely the first one's fucking scary. The other two are, you know, much more hilarious. All right. Oh, let's see. I'm falling behind, guys. Sorry. James Loon, I read an old 2014 interview with S. Craig Zoller the other day, and he mentioned that he'd written a massive, still unpublished 2-book fantasy series. Fuck, that'd be cool as shit if he could put that out. I'm like, how do I get a hold of him and just be like, hey, so I heard you got some fantasy. Like, he's actually commented on one of my videos. I was blown away. I was like, what? Mr. Zoller, blessing me with your presence. I still got to finish Brace of Broken Land 2. He's gotten me pretty good on that one, so I haven't picked it back up. I love it. Don't get me wrong. But sometimes my stomach is being a little bitch and doesn't want to hack what I'm reading. All right. Okay. So I'm sorry. I'm getting so fucking bad at this. Try to keep up with your comments, guys. I'm trying. If I don't answer it, just fucking post it again. All right. Are you do? Nope. Did that one. Did that one. I'd absolutely love to read some Zoller fantasy. Yes. Yes, James. Between Two Fires audio is free on YouTube by the author, and the Audible version might be as well. Great read. Guys, if you have Audible and it's free, fucking go and download it, dude. Go and download it. That's in fucking insane. I mean, I don't, even if you're not into audiobooks, I don't give a shit. That story is worth free. It's on my fucking, I know you can't see it, but because I have all my stuff pushed back, my kid keeps grabbing all my shit and taking it for a ride. But fucking Between Two Fires is right here. I love that book, and it's worth downloading for free. So if that's the case, I can't fucking recommend it enough to you guys. Get out there and get that free book. Free is the magic fucking number. I don't give a fuck. People be like, "Hey, you want this book? It's about a piece of shit, like a literal piece of shit, like poop." And I'd be like, "Well, I don't know. How much is it?" They're like, "That's free." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, yeah. Put it in my cart, brother." All right. I know I'm fucking horrible. Hey, man, big fan. So excited to catch one of your streams. Really enjoying your review of Aspect to Emperor with Nuts and Shelf Unstable. Yes, dude. Amanda and Jimmy are awesome. And they're like picking up shit, I definitely didn't see on my first read. I'm on my reread, so I'm like picking out. I've, grasped so much more and still have some questions. But it's been so much fun talking with those guys about that. I've been waiting, for people to like want to fucking do some Baker fucking collabs and just talk. And I see that Philip Chase has picked up The Darkness That Comes Before, and I couldn't fucking be happier because, guys, I feel like I needed one of these guys that has like a bit of like a subscriber following, somebody that has like, gets thousands of fucking views and shit to actually do some shit on Baker. And then Jimmy, had done it. And I was like, fuck yeah, brother. And now Philip doing it. I feel like with those two guys have a pretty good following. And if they're I can't speak for Philip yet, but I know that Jimmy loves it. If Philip does as well, to have those two guys shouting about the series will do fucking phenomenal things for the fandom. You know what I mean? It'll bring so many more people to our dark and dastardly fucking church of nothing. All right. I'm working on Dracula, and then I'll be reading Interview with the Vampire for the first time. Birdie of books. I actually was contemplating reading Interview with the Vampire. I kind of forget it's considered a horror movie or a horror book or whatever. It's like, gothic horror. I love that book. I love those series. The Interview with the Vampire and the Vampire Lestat are my favorite two books of all the Vampire Chronicles. Love it. I'm super stoked for you. I hope you enjoy that. I thought about picking up Dracula. Stephen King was talking about how he had read it as a kid. And just the way he talked about it really got me excited to go out and read Bram Stoker's Dracula. Not sure if I will, but I am thinking about it. All right, Slowly Read. What are your thoughts on the English movement? What's the English movement? I don't know. I might not have any thoughts. What's the English? Dan, Neuropath by R. Scott Baker was incredible horror thriller as well. Yeah, I have to pick up Neuropath. Amanda has read it, and she's all in, and I love her stuff, man. I totally trust her opinion. If that's like another person, if you guys haven't checked out Amanda's channel, you should be doing so. She's fucking awesome. Anything Stephen Graham Jones is fantastic as well. Birdie, I have Mapping the Interior, I think is by him, that little like novella. All right, Aaron. Happy early Halloween, man. Glad your booktube is growing. Bought some books on your recommendations, and I couldn't be happier. Thanks, man. Thank you. Yeah, it's pretty cool that this channel has grown to the size that it is. You know what I mean? Because that's not exactly what I expect. I wasn't sure at first. At first, I was like, let's grow this bitch to gigantic proportions. And then I realized how hard that was going to be. And also like what I would probably have to do to nab up that many. I didn't want to do it. So this thing is bigger than I expected. And it keeps growing somehow. I'm writing a novel about werewolves and vampires. It's sort of grimdark, I guess. Vampires are coming back. Didn't know. Yeah, vampires are kind of making a comeback. I will say that Jay Kristoff's Empire of the Vampires certainly kind of puts them back in a more adult, nightmarish kind of form. It's the complete opposite of your Twilight vampires, which I mean, who we can all hate them as much as we want. The thing that we can't deny the fact that they were so all encompassing. Like they were everywhere, and lots of people liked them, and still do. And I'm not the one to tell you that your book sucks. You know what I mean? Like if you love it, I haven't even read it, so I mean, I don't know how I could really give a proper fucking critique anyway. I'd just be giving an ignorant fucking assessment. Vampires are totally making a comeback. Yeah, I feel like they are too. I really do. You got, and then, like the thing is like you're watching because Interview with the Vampire, the TV show, is just now coming out, and it's much different than the book. But I have to say, for somebody that was very skeptical about this show, I do feel like they're nailing certain things as far as adapting it and keeping an essence of the story. And the vampires are, very homoerotic, like sexual, but they are also terrifying. Terrifying. All right. At Goddess of Gore, my friends is disappointed with the book because it's werewolf centric, but that's because I love wolves. Hey, man, werewolves are awesome. And honestly, I was kind of like, man, I'm surprised there's not more werewolf characters. I can't even say that. I say wolf, werewolf. I'm surprised there's just not more werewolves in some of these fantasy stories. And I wonder if it's maybe because they're afraid that it's like a kind of character. It's like too tropish or played out. Like they're afraid to make a character. Well, I always thought it would be kind of cool to follow a main, like a protagonist that's fucking has lycanthropy or whatever the fuck. Maybe you don't even find out about it till like way late in the book, and all of a sudden you're like, "What the fuck?" And he just wolfs out and fucking eats everybody. That'd be cool. Hey, peeps, what's going on, girl? John Palladino. Hey, guys. Aaron, Mark, back at it again with the giggles, even though he sails as long of the grimdark. Yes, I giggle a lot, man. I got like some cartoon DNA somewhere in me. King of Grimdark. The brothers Gwyn loved Empire of the Vampire too. That's on my list. Hey, yeah, I haven't really. I think I have them. I'm pretty sure I'm subscribed to those two. I just haven't really watched a whole lot of their content. But they seem to be very fucking positive, upbeat, cheerful guys. And I honestly, they've surprised me in like some of their thumbnails. I'm like, holy fuck, are they holding up like this book? I'm like, shit, that's awesome. Like they are covering some stuff I just don't see everyone covering, and I can appreciate that. And they will cover some popular shit too. Skyrim Dawnguard DLC has good vampire stuff. That's cool. I was always into vampires since I was a kid. And then it got even more intense when I like kind of fell in with Vampire Hunter D. Like when I'm trying to think how old I was probably like 10, 11. and I first watched Vampire Hunter D, and it reignited my love for vampires all over again. Oh, there's my wife. Hold on. Hey, you're live. Just so you know.
Oh, darn it!
Yes, you're live.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Sorry for interrupting. Everyone.
I love you. They'll all forgive you.
I'm sure they needed a break to the endless droning on.
Can you?
Okay, I love you.
All right. I love you, bud. I hope you're having a good day. Hey, text me.
I will.
All right. Bye. All right. That's how you get your wife off the phone. No, I'm just joking, guys. Personally, not a fan of supernatural stuff, shifters, vampires, demons, etc. But that's just because I prefer more of the fantastical stuff. I think that's fair, John. Yeah, I love it all. I love it all. Curran. Yeah, my werewolves are inspired by Vikings, Northmen. I was watching Vikings and thought of a berserker in a fantasy world would be a werewolf. That's cool, man. I like it. New subscriber here. Love your vids. Thank you, Jason. Thank you. Aaron, don't know if you've been seen the show Castlevania on Netflix, but it's very good. Highly recommended. I've watched not all of it. I've watched a couple is it just 1 or 2 episodes or something? I've watched some of it. I know there was newer stuff that got dropped. I have not made it to that. But I have made it at least to the part where like what's his name? Belmont and Alucard have like met back up and stuff. So I'm probably really early in, honestly. But I do like it. I love what's his name? Richard Armitage, the guy who does the voice from the dude that was in the Hobbit. His fucking voice, man. That guy's got a voice. Grave Walkers. I have a werewolf character, but he is one of the super powered humans. Price are all insane. He thinks he is and murders people when the moon is out. Oh shit, that's kind of a cool fucking take on it. You know, that kind of reminds me. What the fuck was that movie with? It was a vampire movie with Nicolas Cage. And he thinks he's like he gets bit or whatever by that chick, and then he like thinks he's a vampire. He's all buying like plastic fangs and shit. Tries to bite that chick on the neck. God damn it, what was the name of that movie? I loved that movie when I was a kid. Shouldn't have been watching it, but I watched it. The only werewolf you've heard about is Werewolf in London. Werewolf in London is super good. I remember the first time I watched it, I didn't necessarily like it, but I think I was too young to really get what the fuck was going on. I was just kind of like, I want this werewolf fucking movie, and it's much more than that. And it's like a horror movie that's also, it's not a comedy, but it is funny. But it's also very bleak, like the ending. And I love the dead friend that he sees, and like how he like progressively gets more fucking decayed and fucked up looking. Genius. Some stuff it just takes a minute for you to really appreciate. I can hear my son. Hopefully he just goes back to bed. Have you read Berserk? This is from my name Jeff. Hey, have you read Berserk? If yes, did you like it? I have, and I do. I'm just basically at a point though where I'm like where the cartoons, the like Golden Age arc, the one that like everyone loves. I'm there, and the thing is, I feel like I know a lot of what is going to happen, so I just kind of pump my brakes a little bit. But I fucking love it, and it's dark as fuck. The like Guts's like backstory is so fucked. So fucked. I do like it though. My favorite manga still to this day is Claymore. Goddess of Gore. No werewolf can compete with the American werewolf, in my opinion. Like the Universal Studios. Nix Lycos. What's the most recent book you read that you felt came up short because of hype? Because of hype. That might be, I don't know. I know for sure Blood Meridian was one that floored me because I was like, this is good. It's obviously written by somebody who can write their ass off, but it's also strange. It was the first McCarthy book I read, though, too. So I didn't really get the whole stream of consciousness style of writing, and the fact that he had like just kind of threw the fucking writing rules out the fucking window. And I've said this all the time. Like, I'm a dude that loves breaking rules. Like, that's my shit. But I don't know what it is about it that bugged me. It was like, well, what the fuck? You guys are heralding this guy as the best living American, like the best author in America that is alive today. And I was like, I just don't see it. And you know, there are fucking professors that do full on fucking, you know, classes and courses and shit about this fucking story, breaking it down and what he meant. And, you know, even Baker carried that book around with him, you know, I'm pretty sure while he was writing Aspect Emperor. And there's a massive amount of, you know, influence there, especially with the skin eaters and everything. So I guess I just expected this thing that was really going to fucking like hit me in like inside. And what I found was it just felt like I didn't feel anything. It was a really good story. It was amazingly written. But there was nothing that was hitting me. That's the thing. I felt just kind of dead and cold inside while I read it. It was just like, okay, more. It was so strange. Like the lack of emotional impact it had on me. That freaked me out, I guess. And it made me not like the book as much. And I wondered, maybe there was something wrong with me. or I did have to admit, maybe I'm just dumb and I don't see the genius shit. I saw the good writing, but I don't understand the genius of that book. And it's nothing against Blood Meridian or McCarthy. It's just I didn't get what millions of other people got. Another book that had me like that was for a long time, and I read it and now I like it. But I still find my issues with it was Lies of Loch Lamora. I fucking tried reading that book so many times and kept DNFing it. And it was always right around the same spot, too. It's always during that very long-winded wine con. And you're like, dude, Jesus fucking Christ. Can we just move on to fucking anything else? But people love that. People love it, and I didn't. When I finally read the book, I can appreciate like the amount of detail and in-depth, like just how crazy like Scott Lynch can fucking really paint the fucking scene, what's going on, draw things out, plot it, all this. It's so very, very impressive. But that doesn't mean that it was like a lot of fun all the time. So those are my two probably biggest, I mean, maybe not recent, but those are probably my two biggest like books titles, because both of them are very well loved. People love Lies of Loch Lamora and people love Blood Meridian for multiple different reasons. And I found it tough. And a lot of it, I think, too, had a lot of the expectation. You know what I mean? When everybody else loves it, you're wondering, what the fuck? When it's not clicking for you. It's tough. Another one, like on the flip side of that too, there's these times where I will have something click for me. I will scream about it, you know, fucking to the moon, and somebody else will read it and be like, I don't get what the fuck you saw in this book, bro. I'm like, oh. I like it. All right. Whoa, Howling is pretty good werewolf movie. Yeah, I want to watch The Howling again too. I was just watching The History of Horror by Eli Roth, and they were talking about The Howling. That they were talking about The Howling and American Werewolf in London or whatever. It was really, that's a pretty cool little like docu series or whatever the fuck you want to put it, like place it in. But it'd be fun to watch too right now for anybody, you know, if you're into horror movies especially. It's a fun watch for like a Halloween vibe, because it'll cover all kinds of different like genres of horror, all like from all kinds of different, you know, many years, and they go pretty in depth. It's pretty cool. They got Greg Nicotero and Rob Zombie and a couple other guys that show up there. Elijah Wood was a surprise for me. I didn't realize like how into horror that guy is. You could tell when he starts talking about some of these movies like Maniac and shit. You're like, dude, holy fuck, like Elijah Wood's a little psychopath. Like he fucking loves this shit. Ooh, unfortunately, my internet is on the fritz right now, so I'm out. See you guys later, John. Babel was a 2.5 star for me. Yeah, is that the new Rebecca Kwong book? I'm not going to read it. I mean, I'm nothing against her. I don't want to. I have no interest in academia, like dark academia. I just don't. I don't need to read any more books about fucking kids in school. And I don't want to go into it. I don't want to go into it. I don't need to get on my fucking little soapbox and start spouting off about why someone's not as good as they're fucking heralded. Either Abercrombie ruined fantasy or Sanderson is not that good. He came out for short for me. I will say that too. Abercrombie was my first disappointment. Because the Blade, god damn it. Yeah, the Blade itself. I get the Blade itself and the Steel Remains mixed up constantly. I have to fucking like stop my brain and separate the two. So the Blade itself, with all the fucking hoopla behind that, and I didn't really realize most of these people, when they talk about it, they were talking about the trilogy as a whole. And where I'm looking at like just them talking about the first book. And so when I read it, I was like, what the fuck? Why is this the number one grimdark book of all time on every list? It makes no fucking sense. So yeah, I was kind of disappointed. And then when I finally decided to, a couple years later, when I decided to revisit the trilogy, I fucking loved it. And I understood it for what it was. And there's a reason why the book one is still my least favorite. It's all fucking set up. And it's also just the very first part of the story, because you got to look at it like one book, not three, right? Did someone say it's kind of really boring when they're talking about the fucking the Blade itself? It is kind of boring. I'm like, we're doing a fucking fencing tournament, bro. But then you got like, I gotta admit, like book two, holy shit. That's when I was like, dude, this guy's fucking phenomenal. Like, this is fucking so good. Now it's like where we get introduced to fucking what's his ass, dude? A fucking Casca. Nakoma Casca. He's my favorite. All right, let's see. Claymore is dope. Yes, sir. That's right, Aaron. I'm fucking with you, man. Mark, did the time pressure of the read along make you quit Black Company, or were you just not enjoying it anymore? No, it wasn't the time crunch because I was ahead. I still haven't even like dropped I think I have like one or two of those books I can still review. I have two more Black Company books to read. That's it. And it wasn't time crunch at all. It was just the fact that I felt like I had read after like it kind of felt like I had read the same book 4 or 5 times. Like after the first 3 or 4, it just felt like they kept being very similar with certain things. Cook kept doing these things that made me very interested to jump into the next one, and sometimes he'll even end it on a note where you're like, you fucker, like I was going to take a break, but now I got to see what the fuck happens. And he's good at doing that. But there's so much strategy, so much. That's like where I thought I was head over heels about military fantasy. It was Black Company that taught me that maybe I'm not. Or at least that aspect. I'm not big on the military tactics side of things. I'd rather like just fucking do the adventures with the characters. So I'm going to finish it because, god damn it, feet first. But I don't know. I might try to do that before the end of the year, just smash out the last 2 books. But we'll see. But yeah, I just stopped reading it because I just wasn't into it at the moment. And I was having a hard time reading. So I was like, fuck, the last thing I want to do is read something that I'm like half in. I'm a mood reader. So I want to be all in. That's a good question though. And I am going but I will finish it. I will finish it. Absolutely. Because I kind of want to see if he does something in those last 2 books, or even just the last book. And like, does something happen where I'm like, holy fuck, this ties all this shit in? I don't know. We'll see. I really love the first book. It's fucking so good because the 10 that were taken, like Cook's wizards, I fucking love them. I love his wizards. I wish we could have got like a prequel or something, maybe like that was just about the fucking 10 that were taken and just really dove into those characters because they're the best. Really good Love and Robots werewolf episode. Yes, that is fucking awesome with the soldiers. Love that. Love that episode. That shit got me like pumped for werewolf stuff. Legends of the Brave Bard. I love books. Enough said. Carolyn Wilson, lovely that you are back. Yes, it is nice to be back. I got to go check on my son real quick and see if I can get him. Look at this guy. He's like, what the hell just happened? All right. Lovely that you are back. Yes, thanks, Carolyn. Legends of the Brave Bard. Thoughts on Stephen King's Eyes of the Dragon? I have never actually finished Eyes of the Dragon. I picked it up when I was real little. It was making the rounds at my house. Like my family all read it and liked it. And I really wanted to get into it. I was horrible at reading when I was younger. God damn, son. You're winding me. It's so heavy. Oh, damn it. Liza Loch Lamora was really boring. Yeah, it was, man. It took a minute. And then for me, the relationships and the characters got me. And then I was really like sucked in. And he's a fiend for detail, which some people will love and some people will grate at him. Blade itself took me 3 tries to finish. Yeah, man, I'll tell ya. Took me twice. Goddess of Gore. Yeah, the blade itself gets good towards the end in much of the same way felt about the darkness that comes before. Okay, so yeah, it didn't take me that long to get into the darkness. And, maybe because I was also a little bit more experienced, but I think it was the Battle of Kayuth where I was sold on darkness that comes before. But I will say, yes, like there's no reason to, like, I say some things about the blade itself, but I got to admit too, like that probably has my favorite fucking action scene with old Logan Nine Fingers. He goes bloody 9 there towards the end. That's where I was like, to me, it was like I wish there was more of that earlier in that book. But when I did read it, I was like, holy crap, this is so good. So good. Yeah, Red Blade and thought, what the hell are people so excited about? Yeah. It's one of those things. I think you get it later, but I mean, at first it can be tough, especially if you don't know. You're like, what the fuck are y'all talking about? But yeah, before they are hanged is amazing. Aaron, have you ever read House of Leaves by Mark Z. Danielewski? I don't know. I probably said that wrong, but I have always wanted to read House of Leaves. I've heard it's super fucking weird, and that's always interesting to me. Like, I love weird shit. I've heard that you had to like read parts of it backwards though and stuff, and I'm like, well, that sounds challenging. But I've heard it's a really fucking mindfuck good book. And I also have heard that like one of the main characters is a tattoo artist. I don't know if that's right or not, but I mean, that's intriguing for a guy like me. Jared, man, there's nothing I want to see you review more than Brian Lee Durfee's 5 Warrior Angels trilogy. The only time I've agreed with a publisher calling someone heavy metal. Dude, that's what's up. Okay, so I'm started it. I have read several chapters and I'm trying to think of the one chapter. There's the older character. It's like the bald warrior guy. It starts out, he's like on a fucking battlefield, and that little like storyline or whatever perspective was fucking awesome. And I just want more of that. And I know I'm still pretty early in. I also liked, I like the characters, but just being younger is the reason why I shelved it. But I am going to be reading that soon. I'm going to finish it soon. I think after I finish Messiah, I'll probably pick it back up and continue that in Zoller's Race of Broken Land. Whoop. Marcus Weber, have you read The Weird of the White Wolf? No, I'm right there. So interesting how schizophrenic the writing style seems when you read Elric in chronological order. I love many things, but also not sure if it has aged well. So I'm like right there on The Weird of the White Wolf. I just finished Sailor on the Seas of Fate, which before that I read The Fortress of the White Pearl, which I fucking love that one. I think, a lot of people praise Sailor on the Seas of Fate, and I liked it, but I didn't like it as much as Fortress of Pearl. But the writing is most certainly better. The prose, just the style, it almost like sometimes it feels like I'm like, fuck, dude, like this is almost like beyond the pulpy style that normally he might hit you with. It just was extremely beautiful and almost dense, like. It's just some parts, especially the beginning of that one. But yeah, so the next one up is the Weird of the White Wolf, and I've heard a mixed bag, but I'm going to be jumping in probably here soon. I already got it, so. DH, can't see how 5 Warrior Angels finishes. Oh, you can't wait to see? Yeah, because he's got that coming out soon. And I think it's like 2 books in one, too, I think, because the deal with the publisher. So it should be a fucking beast, considering his other books are already beasts. That's one of the things that deterred me from picking up The Forgetting Moon was just how big it was. It was like, well, fuck, that's going to take me forever. Is that your opinion?
Sure.
First Law really clicked with me at the end of Last Argument of Kings. So pleased with how it came together. Badass. Yeah, dude. I mean, I love that first trilogy, especially like as a whole. It's amazing. I think if you try to break it up into 3 different books, that's when you're going to find the problems. But as just one cohesive story, it's fucking amazing. Have you read Priest of Crowns yet? If so, what do you think of it? That's the last one, right? I've read all of them but the last one. So we'll see. I will say this. I felt like I felt like
Like
Peter
this.
McLean, or is Peter McLean, right? He kind of has elevated the story like each book, and it felt like it just kept getting better and better. Though I'm kind of now looking back, I'm like after some time away from it, I kind of almost think I like book 2 more than I like book 3, but it's not like some gigantic fucking leap. I think I just really liked Billy in book 2. But I'm excited to finish that thing out. I think he's done a great job. It's definitely Peaky Blinders, but it's fucking awesome. And I love Billy. Billy is like he's just a creepy kid. Fucking I like imagining Billy. I love it when it gives me the creeps. So I'm actually a little excited about that. Don't know when I'll get around to it. I should actually put that in soon because it's not like a big ass book, is it? It's just probably the same size as the rest of them. I mean, shit, I could get in and get out of that like in fucking no time. I think I read most like the other ones in like just a couple days. Just a couple days. Yeah. You're not giving daddy any breaks, huh? You're just like, you know what? All right. Have a great day, Dan. I know I'm probably gonna have to go too. I got little guy now. It gets a little tricky trying to. Yes, you see what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? You're not supposed to touch that, son. I might have to go like Nayer or Sciotha on you and tell you about how I'll cut your limbs off and all that. Oof, you stink too. It was good. It was good to chat with you a lot. Yeah, but I gotta go. It's bedtime in the UK. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I mean that's probably gonna be it for me too, guys. I know this is a little shorter than the rest, but fuck, it was still a good hour. I'm digging the conversations. I don't want to get into like some kind of weird, crazy cursing rant with my son on my lap. Like, oh, we're talking about Rings of Power again. No, it's just not a good look. It's not a good look. What do you think, Romy? What do you think? What do you think? All right. In your review of Heroes Die, didn't talk about Malkos? What did you think of that guy? Malkov is like I guess just like a son of a bitch, dude. I guess the thing is the guy who stole the show for me was Baron. Baron, I was just thinking about Baron the other day, and I was like, man, I really want to dig deeper into the acts of Cain. I was like, I hope they have another fucking character like Baron. Is it Burn? Is that how you say it? Yeah, that guy, that's the character. If you're going to fashion a bad guy, that dude's fucking, especially if you're going to fashion like an OP bad guy, just because like to kind of match your OP good guy, right? Woo, he was so good because he was so insane. I was thinking about this because of the Grimmy Awards. I was like, I was thinking about like so far, like who's like up and running for what, and I'm like, dude, Baron might be the winner of the One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest award. And the thing is he's not like like you could talk to him and he'd have a normal conversation with you, but as he's having that normal conversation with you, he's also having a conversation with himself in his head, and that one is just fucking bonkers and dark and yikes. And that's why I think I loved him so much. Like he really stole the entire thing for me. I was really impressed with that character. So a lot of these other guys, I guess I didn't give as much attention because I was so kind of over through the moon with Baron. There will be more bad guys. Awesome. Yeah, I think I might just go ahead and do the order, and buy some more of the books and see what happens. I know it changes up, and that's why a lot of people fall off, but that might be the very thing that pushes me forward. Who knows? 80s wrestler type guy. Yeah. Like fucking Razor Ramon. He's like, takes his toothpick, flicks it, flicks it at the. Oh, it's awesome. Well, all right, guys, I gotta go because I gotta change this kid. He is just like lighting my nostrils up with his fucking cesspool of a diaper. What do you want to say? Bye, Romy? You want to say bye? Say bye. He said, I just want to go. Stop talking to your friends, Dad. Attend to me. Yeah, right on, guys. Yeah, I know I'll probably try to get, let's see, tomorrow's Thursday. I'll probably try to get another live chat going this Friday, probably around the same time. And I'll probably have that by then. I'll have Dune Messiah read and maybe have my review up and stuff too. So keep an eye out. We'll be trying to stay very active now that we've got the time to. So right on, guys. Thank you so much. Say bye, 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 bye. We will see you next time.